Yep.
Okay, let's go.
Well, good morning. I'm Ray Sandelli, Vice Chairman of the Lee County Board of County Commissioners. With me is Commissioner Brian Hammond, Commissioner Kevin Ruane, Sheriff Carmine Marcino, our Public Safety Director Ben Abes. We also have members of our public safety staff here as well. Commissioners Pendergrass and Frank Mann unfortunately couldn't make it, but certainly send their regards. So welcome, thank you for joining us today for this update, which is very important to our public safety communication platform. And as you know, our board has a long-standing commitment to the technologies that advance and enhance our public safety services. You'll recall back in December, we began implementing the text to 911 services. This month, we are marking the 35th anniversary of 911 in Lee County. It's also National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. Today, we're here to announce the launch of the 911 system to the next generation 911 platform. You know, I think in everything we do every day, the need to do things faster and more effectively is part of our everyday life and protocol with this. I think what you'll find today is pretty fascinating and will help in that regard. So I'd like to ask Director Abes to describe the nature of the upgrade and what the system does. Ben?
Thank you, Commissioner, and good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here today to help us mark this important milestone. On April 8th, 1987, our community welcomed the universal emergency number in North America, 911, to Lee County. It's hard to imagine a world without 911. An immediate and direct number to dial in a moment of crisis. 911 services started with just a standard phone line as a shortcut to dialing a standard 7-digit number. Locations of landline phones were added but were complicated by the advent of cell phones. Cellular networks were eventually required to return the location of emergency callers within 300 meters, 3 football fields, within 6 minutes of the 911 call. And while the service has improved over the years, it's great to be able to come together today, just days after the 35th anniversary of 911 being introduced in Lee County, to celebrate a huge leap in this technology. On March 20th of last year, our board approved the purchase of a new next-generation 911 system. This $3 million project replaced aging, end-of-life equipment. But more importantly, it brings state-of-the-art technologies to our emergency call takers. The system replaces every component of our 911 communications network, from the computer networks that drive these connections to our answering points, to the computer-based phone systems at each call taker console. It is the largest replacement of this technology in Lee County in 35 years. There are 3 main enhancements that this next generation 911 system enables for our public safety community. First, the system provides automation to a number of key processes in the 911 centers. Calls are immediately routed to an available call taker rather than ringing in a pool of available phones, and these calls are distributed evenly across call takers for efficiency. People who hang up after calling 911 can get an automatic callback rather than waiting for a call taker to manually call the number back, saving precious time. The system manages numerous tasks that used to require keystrokes and mouse clicks, and now these happen without any manual intervention. Second, text to 911 will become available to all of our public safety answering points, and we'll get an upgrade. During our initial rollout in December, as Commissioner Sandelli mentioned, the Sheriff's Office and Lead Control, our Fire and EMS Communications Center, manage these text messages for the entire county. With this next generation 911 system, all public safety answering points will receive text to 911, with those messages routed to the appropriate agency using advanced location information. Plus, text to 911 will include the ability to submit photos through the system, as well as the option for the call taker to send the 911 caller a link and enable real-time video streaming from the scene of the emergency. This feature will roll out as these centers migrate to the new system. But remember, and this is most important, we ask the public to call 911 when you can and text 911 when you can't. Finally, this system introduces advanced location services. While technology has improved over the years, locations from cellular phones are still generally unreliable and vary widely from call to call. This next-generation 911 system uses location services from Rapid SOS to use a cellular phone's GPS signal to pinpoint the location of the caller. This location data is the same data that you use on your iPhone or your Android device when you're using routine mapping applications and is generally accurate within 10 to 20 feet. Our team in lead control has been using the system for the last week and has seen multiple examples where this information has helped speed our response to an emergency. This technology rollout will occur over several weeks. As I mentioned, lead control transitioned to this new system last week, and the Sheriff's Office is transitioning to Next Generation 911 starting this morning. Next week, we'll migrate the Cape Coral Police Department, followed by the Fort Myers Police Department, with Sanibel Police Department following shortly thereafter. I'd be remiss if I didn't take a couple of minutes to thank some people. First, our board and our sheriff have been behind this effort since day one and supported our endeavor to bring this vital technology to our community. They have been staunch supporters of public safety, especially leveraging technology to support our responders, and we appreciate that support. I want to thank the County Manager's Office. The County Manager's Office worked with our public safety team, procurement management, and innovation technology as one organization to make this project a reality. I also want to thank our team in Public Safety Technology Services, who took this massive project and came through for our community, both on time and on budget. They have their hands full with a lot of projects right now, but they come through time and time again, and I'm incredibly proud of the work that they're doing. And finally, I want to close by saying thank you to the men and women behind us and across our community right now, answering our 911 calls. This week, as Commissioner Sandelli mentioned, is National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. It's a week to celebrate the quiet work that they do on the other end of the phone as our first responders. Hundreds of 911 calls are placed each day in Lee County, and they do their work with speed and precision. No deputy, no paramedic, no firefighter would ever make it to an emergency if the call taker wasn't there to answer that call first. We appreciate their work each and every day across our community. We all strive to provide our teams with the very best tools we can. This next generation 911 system will not only improve how emergency calls are handled in Lee County, but will enable our call takers and responders to get help to where it is needed when it matters the most. With that, it's my pleasure to introduce Sheriff Carmine Marcino. Sheriff?
Thank you. First, I want to say good morning and thanks for being here. As you already know, and you've heard in great detail from Director Abes, this is a game changer for us. I want to thank our great county manager, Roger DeJarlais, and his team, our great county commissioners. It's no secret why Lee County leads the way, because the team that you see here each and every day is thinking proactively, forward-thinking, to make certain that we deliver not only just the best service, but the state-of-the-art technology to ensure that our residents have everything at their fingertips, literally. It's a big game changer for us today because when a person calls 911, that's probably the most stressful times for them. And having the ability to do so is the utmost importance. But there are times when they're not able to dial 911. There are times that they, God forbid, might be on a scene where they're hiding for their lives, but they're able to take a video or a picture. While they can't speak, they can send that video or picture to our call takers. And now we're able to be on that scene immediately, getting that information, which is pertinent, to make certain that we respond properly. So today is a game changer forever. And the reason we're able to do what we do is because of this great team that's in place. As the sheriff, it's always the safety and security of our residents, which is our top priority. And I'm very blessed and honored to serve with the best people because this team is unstoppable, and it's why Lee County leads the way. And I also want to thank all our communications personnel. Today is a week. It's a week where we recognize them. They have such a critically hard job. I mean, it can be life or death. The information they receive during a crisis and how they deliver it is critical to our success. So we're so blessed to thank them. I think of them as first responders, and I truly cherish what they do each and every day. So thank you. Thank you for being here today.
Good morning, all. Kevin Ruane. First and foremost, I want to thank Roger DeJolet, the county commissioners, obviously Sheriff Marcino, Director Abes, our communication team. What we try to do is create policies, and we make purchases that enable the sheriff's office to have the tools in the toolbox necessary to respond and keep our community safe. As someone that grew up in a public safety world and certainly witnessed 9/11, whatever tool we can offer, whatever ability we can look to technology to help them make their jobs just that much easier, it's our responsibility to do so. I'm really privileged to work with a great group of gentlemen that always are looking forward to making the necessary challenges and decisions necessary to move us forward. Safety is our first concern and our primary concern for all our residents. I'm happy to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Ruane, thank you. I'm Brian Hammond. I'm a Lee County Commissioner for District 4. I think to summarize everything that we've heard today, today is about you. This is a day about you. It's where we're making very clear that we care about your safety. I want to thank our sheriff. I want to thank the folks from public safety. I want to thank all of our first responders who go out every day to take care of you when you're at your worst, when you have your worst moments happening in your life. If I put myself in your shoes, I know that you want to know that when you call 911, you're going to get somebody to answer. I know that you want to know that when you call 911, you'll have all the tools available, like being able to text or send pictures or videos. We made a commitment to make sure that you have those tools. And as we continue to grow as a county, we're going to continue to work to fund our law enforcement, to fund our public safety, and to make sure that you have the best opportunity to keep yourself safe in our community. Thank you.
You know, we're talking about technology today and being the leading edge of this tool that's going to be so important to us. I will tell you, though, that all this goes down to people, and I want to also recognize the people back here. You want to do a real story about the compassion and the understanding is get to know these people. Go to see what they do. Listen to them in that dialogue. When it's people to people merged with the technology, it's the best of who we are. So thank you. If you have any questions, we'd be glad to try to answer those. Any questions?
Yes. Tell us what the interface with the Port Authority would be in the system.
Well, I think when we do put these programs together, we're looking to have the interface with all of our different agencies so that we're on one platform, so that we can, move very efficiently, place to place. So we look at the county and all the units as one.
So is the Port Authority part of the system?
Yeah, Ben, you want to? Sure.
So the question regarding the Port Authority is that the Port Authority is not a public safety answering point. The 911 calls that are made from either port facility are handled by the Sheriff's Office. So the Sheriff's Office would receive those calls and process them. The upcoming project with the unified CAD system, though, would ensure that those calls for service get immediately routed to the port. That's another ongoing project that we're working on right now. And Sheriff, if you'd like to speak to that.
So obviously the airport and Port Authority falls in our Lee County jurisdiction. The chief of the Port Authority is a great friend. We actually train continuously, ongoing, every single day on incidents that would occur in the Port Authority jurisdiction and what that looks like as a response from the Lee County Sheriff's Office. And we train together as one team weekly. We make certain of that. So if there's ever an incident, we're working as one, and again, our dispatch is handling that call.
Okay, so for our viewers,
Sure.
when we talk about texting or calling, they're not going to understand any of the important stuff. When they text or call the county, are they texting and calling a service, or are they texting and
Ben?
So our 911 call takers are sitting in front of a computer console, and if you make a voice call, it rings into that console. If you text 911, it pops up on that same screen. So whether you're calling or texting, you're talking to a trained communications call taker who is going to process that call just as they would in either fashion.
And we were doing that before, but this is a speedier process.
This is a speedier process, and it's also inclusive of all the communication centers and includes the option if there are videos, photos, or if there's the need to live stream, that they can open up those channels to communicate that way.
Now you have the advanced location services. You also have that you can do pictures and videos. There's another one, another advanced upgrade that you guys have. Can you talk a little bit more about that one as well?
Are you referring to the advanced crash notification?
Yes, that one.
So many people in the community have vehicles that are equipped with services that automatically notify a service in the event of a motor vehicle accident. And that crash notification data is also available through these next generation technologies. So just as your vehicle manufacturer may immediately come onto the speakerphone in your car and start talking to you after a crash, that information, including telemetry data from that vehicle, the speed, how many occupants, did it roll over, all of those dynamics are transmitted with the system as well, and we're working to implement all of that data now into how we manage those calls.
Do any of these upgrades, advancements help with, nationwide we're seeing shortages of dispatchers. I know you can probably attest to that. I don't know if we're having it here, but does this help if we have a short staff situation? Does this help with making it easier and streamlining the process to make it more efficient so everybody can be rest assured that it's going to happen quickly?
I think the most important thing is that the system has natural efficiencies that decrease our use of people in the center for non-essential tasks. So right now, they may have to call somebody. If somebody calls 911 accidentally and hangs up, right now somebody actually has to dial that number and verify that that was an accidental call. The system has the ability now to automatically make that call and verify if that was an accident or if they actually need to talk to a call taker. So now you're starting to reduce the workload on the available call takers, which means that there's more call takers available to quickly answer those calls.
Will our scanners still work in terms of dispatch?
Yeah. I'll just leave Ben up here. I don't know if this is...
So I believe you're referring to the Project 25, the P25 GCN upgrades, and we are finishing that project. So a number of those agencies have moved to the new system. In fact, all of our public safety agencies have moved, and each agency, as they're programming their radios, has the option to either transmit encrypted or in the clear, and that's an agency by agency decision. We provide the technology, but the agencies make that decision for themselves.
Well, we're in the process of transferring over right now. We will meet with the executive command staff, but of course transparency is important for us. So everything we do, we want to be transparent, and we want the public to understand exactly what we do and how we do it.